or better known as Electrophonic Kitty. Well, guess who has quarantine? Me, that's who. Don't I? Isn't this the most fun? Not. Anyway, so I'm here to do a little bit of vlogging, and yeah, if you want to talk to me, that's great. You know what to do. Leave some comments. Talk to me, please. I am excessively bored. And yeah, this is day 1. I get to go back to work on Saturday, but unfortunately, what happened was, it's kind of hard to explain. Well, let's see. The dreaded C happened, and if I say the word, I don't really want to get in trouble with you know what. So I'm just gonna tell you, it is bloody boring. Anyway, I'm gonna be playing some FF14 here, and you can talk to me all you like, because I'm really not going to go anywhere. I have a very sick fiance right now, and it isn't exactly the most fun, and people keep killing off my poor boars. I need boars. Come on, guys. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a few things about what has happened, a few things I don't know. I could give you a hint on the drama that I've seen, but the truth is, if I could tell you about a few things, apparently a good old buddy Goro made an apology, and apparently it was a suck-ass apology that didn't really amount to anything. I mean, honestly, the guy probably is... I just feel bad for any of the kids that actually pay to, pay that much money to be... I mean, I feel bad because, here it is, these kids who are wanting to be part of something popular, and it turns into, hey look, oh man, more boars, yay! So yeah, that's pretty much what has happened, is, I don't know if that apology was worth anything, really, because I really don't know. Because this kid is probably going to get himself in trouble eventually, because, you know, I view it as extortion. I'm really sorry if you are a furry who paid into this, but that's extortion, okay? Paying $250 just to hang out with somebody? Come on. I mean, I honestly don't think you're going to be, you should be doing that, because that is your money, and it should go to something you want to do with your life. Like, go get a video game, go pay for a light, a Switch. I mean, come on, people, you're not, I believe it is not fair, especially if you are somebody who saved up that much money, and you really want... I mean, okay, if I had a Patreon, I'd probably do it like this. $5, you're helping me publish a book, you're helping, even if it's like for my photography, you get access to early photos or something like that, where you get to see stuff that I actually worked on that I really want people to have early access to. Because there's some photography that people will see on my Fur Affinity that, if you're not on Fur Affinity, you're not going to see it anywhere else. You're not going to see it on my DA account. You're not going to see it on any other accounts because, yeah, it's just not going to work. But truthfully, people who do this, irritate the hell out of me because it actually hurts it hurts people who are legitimately wanting to have the money, do stuff that they want to do. I don't think it's fair to, you know, treat somebody like that for something that is probably not going to last you a year and a half, and the guy's not really that popular anyway. He sounds like a narcissist to me. And I honestly agree with the last video I did about Garu, is that he is a narc. He is very narcissistic in my opinion. I don't really care if this offends a bunch of kids, but it's your money. Do something constructive with it. I don't know, donate it to charity. If you want, you can donate it to charity that is obviously good for you, not for somebody who probably is not going to use it for anything but to gain his own popularity. I'm just stating the obvious here. I'm not gonna. I mean, yeah, I'm not a popular person. I'm not a pop-you-fur. I'm one of those just practical furries that just wants people. If you want to hang out with me, I would say, yeah, hang with me. I don't mind. I'm not gonna judge you guys. Come on. Who can I judge? I'm a cat. I'm a polished cat who spends half her time playing video games doing fun things. So that's the news with Goru. I don't know what else I can talk about that isn't gonna be weird and talk about my life, which is honestly I really don't want to talk about, because let me tell you that the thing is, I went through my life as a reclusive anime nerd, enjoying my life, but people seem to think that I don't know. I could tell you a lot about my life, but people tend to go on this whole, hey, I mean, I'm not really sure how to say anything that can change your mind on things. Oh, look. A gigantor boar. Anyway, I'm gonna mention a few things about my friends and stuff. I grew up in a very interesting group of friends. I think my best friend was a girl who would show up at my house all the time. She was like the coolest kid I ever met. Her brother could be a bit of an idiot, but you know, most people don't realize that when you grow up growing in a place like Everton, Colorado, a lot of people don't realize how it is, because there's not a lot of other people there. It's kind of scary. I was raised around other people. I like going out to see my mom. Believe it or not, I am actually pretty social, but it's really weird because I'm actually very interested. When I was growing up in an anime, when I was getting into anime for the first time, I don't really know. People thought it was weird because I didn't like popular stuff. I mean, yeah, Kimoyo is probably as close to the popular crap as I can get. And people think that being popular means you have to like all the really crappy shows that don't. I remember watching an anime when I was in high school that actually made no sense to me, and it was just a series that then I got into like something like there was a series that was called Love Game, and I got into that. My friends thought I was really weird because I was reading the manga. I read the manga before I actually watched the anime. And most people think that's like, oh, you're kind of boring. No, actually, I'm kind of interested. I actually love reading stuff in Japanese. Not many people actually read a Japanese manga and enjoy it. One time I actually got into a really interesting conversation with a girl named, there was this girl in like Japanese class. Her name was Sarah, and she was into Tenchi Muyo, as well as me being into the stuff that I was into. I wasn't really into a lot of cool aspects. I mean, Rurouni Kenshin was probably the closest thing I got into. And most people think, oh yeah, you're into that. And then they bring up what the creator did. I'm sorry to tell you this, but the creator was a Nimrod. And the creator did some pretty shitty things, but I'm not gonna go into that because I honestly think that's kind of not the reason I'm into it, into this series. Because there's a total difference. It's kind of like a separation of the artist with the art. But honestly, I think the worst could be said if you're like into something like, let's see. I could talk a lot about different types of animation, but I could also talk about some of the stuff that I'm not really into. And people will go, oh my god, you're not into that? You're so boring. You're not really an anime nerd if you're not into it. And usually you have to tell people, no, I'm into this, but I'm into Hidamari Sketch, or Moriarty, or oh god, what other series? GA Art and Design Club, things like that. Most people just go, oh my god, you're not into blah blah blah. And they'll list off like the most popular animes out there, and you're like, you know, there's like 99 other animes out there that are just as good. I just wanted to mention. But people go into that whole detail of being into a series, and then they get like totally turned off when you mention you're not into, say, a series that everyone else is into. I once told a guy in an anime series into a series, and I kind of got really frustrated because people tend to just go on in this whole compound, simple factoid that they like something, and then they get mad at you when you don't like it. And you're like, well, I'm sorry that I'm like it. I once told a guy that it was just, I don't know, there was just some things. I think the worst I could come up with is when you're talking about series that you're into, or shows you're into, some people will just say, oh, you're into that, I don't like that. Or, I remember, the first time I watched Cowboy Bebop, and it was with my dad. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story because it's actually kind of embarrassing, but then again, it's my dad, and my dad was actually, he was into it because it was, me and him. We got into it because we thought it was kind of cool. And this was my dad. Of all people, it was my dad. My dad was into, watching, there was a series, called Cowboy Bebop. It was on, late at night on Cartoon Network. And one day, out of the blue, my dad's like, oh, let's watch this. Okay. Okay, you're not gonna understand 90% of it, but okay. So my dad started watching it with me, and his first comment was, oh, I get it. It's actually kind of cool. My first thought when I sat there looking at my dad was, oh my god, mom's gonna kill us. And, of course, sure enough, my mom comes downstairs, asks what we're doing, and we're pointing to the show, and she's like, oh, okay. Hours later, she comes back downstairs, tells us, it's getting late, blah blah blah, but we're just like sitting there watching the show, and it was just this, as random as it was, my dad was into it. He did not care that we were into a series that my mom probably thought was weird. And then later on, there was an episode that actually cracked us up about when Spike's people bring somebody home, and puts it in the fridge and starts to gain sentience. And you learn don't leave your leftovers in the fridge, or that will happen, as a joke in the series. And I laughed my ass off because it was actually kind of funny. Because my mother had made that comment before, and I showed her the, there was a song called Living in the Fridge from Weird Al Yankovic, and it was an AMV done to that episode, which actually cracked me up, because that was my first introduction to Cowboy Bebop, and I wanted to see the series. And one of my friends said, "Oh, you're gonna love this series, it is a classic." And the first time I saw it dubbed, and we tried to watch it in Japanese, and it just didn't really click very well. My mother called it the we just couldn't watch it in Japanese. It was just weird. We watched it for so many years in English, and then it just turned out we couldn't watch it in Japanese. I guess it was just the fact that the series just didn't make sense in Japanese. But my mom thought it was a great series. I was surprised because usually my mother does not like anime. And for years she used to say, "That's weird." Not anymore. Not anymore. My mother doesn't do that anymore. And now, after my sister had passed away, my sister was in anime, I found out. And some of the shows she liked Hellsing. And the only reason I stuck with Hellsing is because my sister was into it. And I was like, okay, this is dumb. I don't want it anymore. And my mom was like, oh, you're gonna... But, my mom was just... She started getting into the series I was into. And then I showed her a series called, Vice Cruise, The Night Hunters. It's an old school series. Yes, I am going to that. Because the thing is actually... You can actually go after this thing by yourself. So, yeah, my mom actually got into a lot of the stuff I was into. And it kind of surprised me, but it kind of freaked me out at the same time, because this is my mom, and I'm not used to her acting like I am doing something weird. Because for so long, she used to just say, "It's weird, stop doing that, you're being bizarre." And then she started actually hanging out with me and my friends, and she started actually thinking anime was actually pretty fun. And I mean, years later, I am still into anime. I'm still into the stuff I was into when I was a kid. And some of the animes I'm into aren't that popular, and I'm kind of glad, because Next to Me Book of Friends is one of my favorites, and I don't want it to become popular. I don't want it to be mainstream so much that we have yaoi written about it, because honestly, not everybody is into yaoi, and I learned that from years of being into yaoi. Not everybody's into it, and I don't really want kids to get into this because there's some stuff that is part of the yaoi community I am not particularly proud of. By the way, if you are into yaoi press, yes, I've reviewed their stuff before, and I'm friends with Amelia, and I do want to say shout out to her, because she actually was one of the biggest reasons I became an author, because she actually did a lot for me in inspiring me to actually look at character design and character development in a way that I actually enjoy. So, yeah. So, I am just gonna say, in all sense, that yes, anime is something that I have been into for years, And most people think that being into anime means you do this, this, and this. It's not really that. I mean, one of my favorite anime, and if you'll excuse my cough, I have a slight allergy effect right now, even though I have the dreaded sneeze, as I call it. I'm not, I am under quarantine right now, so I am going to be vlogging a little bit, but my fiance is sick, so, it may be an off-and-on thing, but 10 days I have to be, on my guard and do a lot of stuff I'm not comfortable with and discussing. But I will mention I am not going to be a total recluse and spend half my time talking about nearly nothing to be an absolute. I will discuss a few things. If you're into anime and you're into the stuff I'm into, I'm gonna mention that I do not like it when people talk meanly about others. I was part of an anime group for a long time that actually was very rude, and I to this day cannot handle half the fandom's business toward it, because there's some series I enjoy that people absolutely cannot stand, and I do not want anyone to actually hate on the series because they get in it, and I have this different view of things that don't really work as well as others. I mean, I sat there watching an anime that most people just didn't get into, and yet I was like, oh yeah, that's how the series is. And you get people going, oh my god, you're into that? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm sorry if that really offended you. There's a series that I was watching a while back that a lot of people didn't really understand or like, and I have it, and then again, the series, irked a lot of people, and then finally it just became popular, and I was sitting there one day, I was like, why are you guys... Okay. So, yeah, another series I'm into is Gunslinger Girl. That got introduced to me by my mom, of all people. Believe it or not, my mother was actually one of the few people that actually really liked the series, and I never understood her logic on it, but then again, my mother actually sat there and watched a lot of the shows I watched and said, huh, I get it. She got it without really getting it, which is kind of weird, because sometimes my mother will get into a series and she will not understand why she's into it, because sometimes the series she's into, quite literally is definitely not the kind of series I would tell her to watch. I one time watched, her attempt to watch, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and went, oh god, no. Because my mother was like, oh, this is an interesting series. Mom, that's about the end of the world. And she's like, oh, okay. My mom was just not aware. I don't think she was self-aware that series like that exists until she just sits there and will watch it and it gets the whole gist that it's about the end of the world. And then you just start trying to keep a straight face as she is slowly kind of, not getting it, but is getting it. And I wanted to say this to her one time. I said, so, how did it go? And she's like, I don't get it. Of course you don't get it, Mom. You never get it. It's a series that is not exactly something I would actually show you. Because, you're not really gonna understand it. And then later she would try, yet again, to watch it with me. And I am trying very hard to be a very supportive daughter while my mother is slowly losing her goddamn marbles over the series. And she finally gets it, but for watching End of Ava the movie, and I am dreading that day where my mother asks me if I have the new Ava movies, because I know my mother is a person that would literally ask for it. Will literally want to watch it with me. Because I know my mom, and I know what she's into, and I know she will ask me, and I will have to answer, because my mother is that kind of person. And I know that for a fact, eventually I'm going to have to go, okay Mom, I'm going to have to show you the series, and we're going to have a long discussion. Why Beyond Genesis Evangelion is definitely not a show I really want to show you. Because I know how my mom is. My mother is a very, blunt person. But I also know my mom is not a person who will try to force an issue anymore. She used to force an issue, and then she discovered it actually just pissed everybody off, and she stopped. That was actually a really nice thing when I started, when I was 22 and I was in an anime club, and my mother was like, okay, tell me when it's over. And then one day she actually wanted to switch through. There was a series I was watching that I wanted to literally, not let her watch with me. Unfortunately, she watched it anyway, and it was just a historic drama. I mean, my mother liked historic dramas. I didn't know if she was going to like the anime I was into. So, yeah, I don't know how many people think that some people it's okay to treat some people like crap, but I grew up with that being a actual issue in the Colorado anime community, where I actually had to tell somebody that I wasn't into their series. And it turned into that whole concept of people treating me like crap in the anime community, because there's that comment that I always seem to get, but you're a girl. Oh my god, I'm a girl. Did I sprout like weird vibes on people or something? But again, that is not a problem if you're an anime nerd, but there's that whole concept of, but you're a girl. Girls are not supposed to do this. Girls aren't supposed to like this. Oh my god. I was in a club that actually, one day, one of the guys I was hanging with, I think his name was Ryan, and Ryan got really angry about this because he said it was just so ridiculous. It was this comment that came up in our fan group thing, and it was that whole "but you're a girl" comment. And one day, one of the guys, and I don't know what his name was, I think his name was oh geez, his name was I don't really rightly remember his name. I think it was Ryan, and he sat through a comment that was thrown at me That girl, just because you watch Sailor Moon does not mean you're an anime fan. Bullshit. My mom actually heard that comment too, being thrown at me, and I mean, I've heard my mom go on a tirade about it, but I think the biggest comment she ever made was, geez, you can't judge a book by its cover. My daughter actually goes, I actually said something in Japanese to this one guy and offended him quite a bit. But I don't think it was really as offensive as, say, having to say, yo, why are you telling me because I'm a girl, I can't do something? Because it literally means I'll do it anyway, because I'm a fucking bitch about it, because it's just stupid. My mom once said that if guys are gonna judge a girl for all the things that she does that she doesn't do, then they should learn to appreciate the fact that the girl is able to sit there, smile and nod, and just say, I'm take it. My mother used to say that, if a guy is gonna tell a girl that she's gonna watch anime, then, yeah, then you might want to just walk away from the conversation, because, that doesn't work. But again, that happened probably back when I was in my 20s. I'm now 22, or no, 41, and people still think that girls don't do, I was just laughing at some people who treat me like that, and then it turns into that whole, are you going to treat me like shit? Or am I going to be laughing my ass off when you're going to give me head nonsense? I remember a guy in an anime group I was in that just, I think this is probably the best time I could talk about him, because, Creeper, literally followed me to an anime group after he got told, I am not interested in you. I literally had to tell them. And that was actually the first time I ever talked to a guy that was weird. I guess I could tell you guys that growing up and telling people I'm not into you turns into that whole thing. And I don't know how I can talk about Creeper without making an episode solely about him and about how he treats people. Because honestly, I remember going through my life as a teenager and being told that I need to grow thicker skin or some bullshit like that. It turned into that whole grow thicker skin, but the problem with that is people who say you need thicker skin don't rightly grasp the whole concept of what's going on when you have that happen. But honestly, I don't know. It didn't really require that much in thought. But I can tell you, when I got into gaming, I probably felt my ex-boyfriend was probably the biggest reason I get into this, into FF14 or anything else. But again, I'm an idiot and I'm usually nice to people I shouldn't be nice to. I will say that. People have said that about me, is I'm nice, but I shouldn't be that nice to some people. I shouldn't be giving some people that initiative to be part of my life. But the problem is they're in my life, and that's kind of a drawback. But again, you kind of get into that habit of understanding who people are and what people can do to you. Colorado anime community, I learned not to respond and be part of because I don't listen to them anymore. And one of the biggest drawbacks I had was I don't like going to conventions where they actually will allow somebody who has tendency to stop. Because there is a guy that goes to that convention, and because you're in anime, it's clearance for him to actually stalk you. And I will tell you, I quite frankly felt kind of turned off by that, because at any time I was like hanging out with my friends, Cooper would come up and he'd start talking to my friends, and he would start acting like, oh, goody goody. It kind of got to the point where I didn't really want to be on it. And the problem is, when you're in that situation where people use that, they generally will tell you, oh, he's your friend. No, he's not. Just because you're friends with somebody doesn't mean you're friends with them at all, because they're kind of using you. That's the one big thing I always thought was rather annoying, is I was being used, and I was being used for his reasoning, and that is his whole issue was I was his girlfriend in his mind. And I don't know, I never understood that one. I always thought he was being used. And then he started telling me I was his girlfriend, and I'm not his girlfriend, and I'm not his friend. And yet, here I am talking about it. And that's not what this episode was about, but you know, honestly, the one thing that really got me is something about this guy. Is he actually was creeping on me for years over the fact that I was not into him. And I really wasn't into his bullshit. And I don't understand why people in the Colorado anime community actually said I was his girlfriend, and I'm not. And that's always been a real weird factoid that I don't understand, is why he believes he's a factor in the anime community. He did not come to the community willingly. He came because people like me, who had no interest in him, were nice to him. And that's the whole problem with just because you're nice to somebody does not mean he is your boyfriend. I mean, I honestly don't understand that part. He does not understand the fact that I do not like him. I did not like him when he tried to be my friend, because he kept getting freaking needy and clingy, and oftentimes I kind of like those awkward moments where I'm sitting there trying to have conversations with other people, and he wanted to be included. And, you know, that's not how I work. At one time, I really wish I could say I could understand people, but in all the times I've lived with anime nerds, not all of them are the same kind of people. Although there was one guy that I absolutely thought was like the coolest person I had ever met, and I felt horrified when he stopped hanging out with me. But unfortunately, the reason he stopped hanging with me actually was because he did not have he was not a good person in the first place, but I still thought he was like the coolest person ever. And honestly, I don't think that that was a driving point until I was later on told that people in this group are a bunch of just popularity hounds that just want to popular, and the fact that I do not want to be popular, was a total drawback to these people, and I am still shocked by that, and I totally suck. So, while I do talk about some of the stuff that I'm into and why I'm quarantined right now, I am still slightly annoyed by that, because I literally had plans, and now my plans are completely, thrown under a bridge. Damn it. I think my fiance's also in the same boat. We're both kind of pissed because we had holiday plans, we had plans to do stuff together, and totally now it is like totally undoable. So yeah, that is like totally not cool. Anyway, I gotta get going. I will talk later.